Hello there. So I just want Hello there. So I just want to show you guys what Muslims think like. For example, this top Faisal Mukhtar El Sadi guy. He says that different accents don't mean different words. But here's the thing: if you know Arabic, the Fusha has the word "How are you," saying "Kayfa halak," right? And if you have like a Egyptian accent, it's like "Kifak." These are different words, by the sound of it. So this one actually, the Faisal's comment there, it doesn't stand, because that excuse doesn't work. It's false, right? Let's see what more Muslims say as excuse. Okay. So this guy Pete actually says a good point here. He says, "Which one Allah recite in Arabic? Hafs, Warsh, Al Blue, Kalam, etc. Which one?" And this is because Muslims say there's only one Quran, but if there's like different dialects, right? Which version is the true one? I mean, different versions in Arabic are different Qurans. So there's not only one Quran. There were many. So that also is a good actually comment to think about when Muslims say that there's only one Quran, because that's not true. Right? Let's see what more people. For example, this Peter Molo guy right here. He basically says that the House version says that he may give, while the Warsh version says that I may give. So he is other people. The I is the other one, right? So these are, as he says, two different recitations, two completely different meanings. So the one only one Quran right there is false, right? Let's see what. So this guy Andrew basically says a good comment too, and that is that he says the devil's advocate being. He says that this is basically the same with the Bible, and yes, it is kind of the same, but the difference is that Christians say there are like small changes that don't affect the meaning of the text, as most scholars of textual criticism says about the Bible that study the earliest Bibles before Islam and all these things. There are basically no difference, no changes that change essential Christian doctrine, as Bart Ehrman puts it, former Christian and New Testament critic that is very famous, used by Muslims. Uh, so obviously, obviously, if they say the Bible is corrupted because of these reasons, well, it's the same with their book. Then they must say the Quran is also corrupted, all right? But we actually don't believe that it is corrupted in that term that it implies when talking about this. The Bible is preserved in message and in basically styles of writing, and what they call corruption. It's basically like these small changes that don't affect the meaning of the text. Like, for example, one place it says he went over there, and other places says Jesus went over there. The context will show what is most true one, right? So when it's about this like, with the Quran, the thing is that about the Quran, there's only one Quran, they say, but these differences show that there are many Qurans, just like there are many Bibles. But we have all Bibles; they all say the same message. We can say that the Quran says the same message in let's say in essence, but like theoretically speaking, there are changes. And if they're gonna attack the Bible, they must attack the Quran for the same reasons. Because there's not only one Quran, as we've seen, there's several. Right? Let's see what will happen. Now this guy says they all have holes in them. That he's basically meaning that Yasir Qadi in Islam, he's a scholar, and he told Muhammad Hijab, another Muslim guy, that the standard narrative has holes in them. All right, basically, there's not really one Quran only, because if we accept the Muslim argument that there was only one Quran and God revealed it in seven dialects, ask them if there's seven Qurans then in basically with Allah that He sent down, right? They will just say there was only one, but then they say seven and all these things. It's like even if we grant them being different recitations, the different recitations are different. I mean, you pronounce the words differently, right? So in the end, it's still the same. The argument still stands because there are different wordings, and as long as they say there's different styles of recitation and all these things, that still implies that the Quran isn't only one; it's several forms. All right, let's say of the same message, but it's several forms, several books. So the argument still stands that the Quran is not perfectly preserved, and there's not only one Quran like Muslims claim. All right, let's see one more. This Muslims actually gets it because he's basically saying you can say the same about the Bible, and you can, but we're not claiming there's only one Bible, and all these things, We do believe there's only one Bible, and it's inspired by God, I mean, and there are some variations because people do mistakes in manuscript and changes. Sometimes they grew tired and all these things. It doesn't mean that they were evil intentionally trying to change the text, because we don't see evidence of that happening. All right, there are small variations, and maybe they added a chapter because there was another tradition going on about Jesus. Just as John says, there's many other things that Jesus did that is not written, and which he supposes if it was all going to be written down, even the world itself couldn't contain it. All right, so even if some things were added later, we still know where they are, and we can take them off. Are you gonna still ignore the Bible? No, obviously. And even if you include those parts, well, you're still reading things that happened, right? So to say that way, so there's no reason to actually doubt a book that let's say had 10 changes when you know where they are, and especially when these changes are simply replaced with other words that has the same meaning but in a different context. As I said earlier, he went to the cinema, or let's say Peter went to the cinema. It's the same meaning if you read the context. The thing is that you just get more clarity, all right? So the Bible isn't changed, the message is true, and Jesus said heaven and earth shall pass away, but his word shall never pass away. All right, let's see what more people say here, because this is kind of fun. Well, I guess this guy also has laid a picture that there's different Qurans here, So like, no matter how you look at it, there are different Qurans, just like different Bibles, but the Bible is just one in message. Right? It all says Jesus died for your sins, just as history proves, right? While the Qurans are just like, let's at least agree that there's only one Quran. That is basically not a true statement, and the Muslims should, let's say, read history, and that's okay because history testifies about what happened, right? I think I will end with this for now. So I just want to tell you guys this. Remember that facts are good when it comes to this, and yeah, the Jesus is basically. He died on the cross, that's what I mean. And the Quran denies this 600 years later. If Jesus died for your sins, do you want to follow him? All right? Okay, God bless you all. Stay safe, and see you soon. Bye-bye.